Senator Osmic.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that further proceedings under the call be dispensed with and the Sergeant-at-Arms be instructed to bring in the absent members.
On that motion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The motion does prevail. No. Thank you. Today's chaplain is our Senate chaplain, Pastor Mike Smith from Redeeming Love Church in Maplewood, and please remain standing after the prayer for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Well, good morning. I'd like to take just a few moments to make a few comments, just to introduce myself, and then I'm going to have a brief prayer at the end. And I'm mindful that you're standing, but that doesn't bother me at all, okay? But I was sworn in in this position about a month ago, and within a matter of days, I was in Vietnam doing mission work, and so I just got back. And so I haven't had an opportunity to address you. Just to introduce myself, just a few comments. I want you to know that I'm honored to be here in this position, but I also feel totally unqualified for this position. And I believe, though, that there's one thing that maybe qualifies me, and that is this. I took that Strength Finders survey, and maybe you've done that. And I found out something that I already knew, and that is this, that my main strength is harmony. I walk into a room, and if I detect that there's disharmony or division, my senses just go up like that. I don't feel that this morning, thankfully. But I do know this. It's within my heart to always bring people together, because I believe that together we can do great things. I'm not here to represent any political party. I'm not here to represent or lobby for any specific cause. But let me be presumptuous in saying this. I feel that I'm here to represent so many people in this great state of Minnesota that believe in you. You've been an influence in so many people's lives, and we know that you have sacrificed to be in this place to lead and influence many other lives. And so I represent, maybe I could be a voice that would say thank you, and also for all of those that are praying for you, because there are issues that you face continually that need solutions that we can't find in any other way than what I believe is to call upon God for help. So I will be praying for you. I want you to know that I'm a pastor of a local church, and I've been pastoring that church for 36 years, and a pastor for St. Paul, and I've initiated a number of events and initiatives in our city because I love this city. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, but I want you to know I have a deep conviction that every one of you are created in God's image, and that He loves you deeply, and that He wants to release to you. I believe this in my heart. He wants to release in your heart and in your life a sense of peace and confidence and blessing. So having said all of that, and by the way, I'm a grandfather, which is an important thing for me to tell you. But I've got these grandchildren that are influenced in years from now. They're going to be influenced because of decisions that people make, like you in this room. And so I am praying for you. Having said that, thank you for letting me take the liberty to share that. And I close by saying this. So therefore, I pray that God would bless our governor, that God would bless the House of Representatives. I pray that God would bless the people that are in this room and your staff. I pray that the reality of His tangible presence would rest upon this great state, and God bless Minnesota. I pray this, Lord, in your wonderful name. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yep.
Senator Kiffmeyer? Chair Kiffmeyer?
Secretary will take the roll.
Senators Abler, Anderson B., Anderson P., Bach, Benson, Carlson, Chamberlain, Champion, Clausen, Cohen, Swazinski, Dames, Dibble, Draheim, Dietzick, Eaton, Eichhorn, Eakin, Fischbach, Franzen, Trentz, Gazelka, Goggin, Hall, Herr, Hayden, Hoffman, Housley, Ingebretson, Isaacson, Jasinski, Jensen, Johnson, Kent, Kiffmeyer, Klein, Karan, Lane, Lang, Latz, Limmer, Little, Laurie, Marty, Matthews, Miller, Nelson, Newman, Newton, Osmick, Pappas, Pratt, Ralph, Rest, Rosen, Rude, Schoen, Senjum, Simonson, Sparks, Tomasoni, Torres Ray, Utke, Weber, Westrom, Uyghur, Wicklund.
A quorum is present. Moving to the second order of business, executive and official communications. There are several printed on today's agenda, and there's no action necessary on those communications. Moving to the third order of business, the secretary will read the message from the House.
Madam President, I have the honor to announce the passage by the House of the following House file herewith transmitted. House file number 244, Patrick D. Murphy, Chief Clerk, House of Representatives.
There's no action necessary on that message. Moving to the fourth order of business, first reading of House Bills. They're noted on the Senate agenda, first reading. Referred as indicated. The fifth order of business, there is an additional report to be read by the Secretary.
Senator Chamberlain from the Committee on Taxes, to which was referred Senate File Number 270, a bill for an act relating to taxation, property, providing a waiver for certain local boards of appeals and equalization training. Delete everything after the enacting clause and insert, and when so amended, do pass.
Senator Gazelka.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the committee reports printed in the agenda and read by the Secretary be adopted.
On that motion, all in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion does prevail. Moving to the sixth order of business, the second reading of Senate bills. The Secretary will read the bills.
Senate File Number 270.
Second reading. Moving to the eighth order of business, introduction and first reading of Senate bills. They are printed on today's Senate bill introductions. They are Senate Files 500 through 611, and they will be referred as indicated. First reading. Moving to the ninth order of business, motions and resolutions. There are several authors' motions printed on the agenda on page 4. They will all be taken as one motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion does prevail. There are several Senate resolutions printed on page 4, Senate Resolution 34, Senate Resolution 35. They will be referred to rules. There is a Senate concurrent resolution number 4. The Secretary will read the resolution.
Senators Gazelka and Bach introduce Senate concurrent resolution number 4, a Senate concurrent resolution adopting deadlines for the 2017 session.
Senator Gazelka.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate concurrent resolution number 4 be adopted. That is the deadlines that we've printed.
To that motion, Senator Nelson.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, I certainly appreciate this resolution. We do need to have timelines to get our work done around here, and this is certainly expected and a must. But I must say that I'm disappointed that we do not have a fourth deadline. The deadline that is so important to actually completing the good work that we do here, and that is a deadline for conference committee reports to be out. That truly, members, is how we can change the trajectory of getting those things in front of the public and in front of legislators in a timely manner, so we know what's in those all-important conference committees, and we can ask what our members feel about that. So I just want to note that I'm disappointed that conference committee deadline is not here. I will be introducing a separate then deadline for those important conference committees. committees. Thank you.
Senator Gazelka.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, just a brief comment, too. I appreciate Senator Nelson's passion to make sure we get our work done on time. I think that's why you see the finance deadline being March 31st. We want to, that's way early. That's almost, it allows us over 50 days to get our work done before session ends. But Senator Nelson, I appreciate your effort in that regard, and that's why you see those dates early.
Senator Gazelka renews his motion on the adoption of Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 4. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The resolution is adopted. Moving on to the 13th order of business, announcements of Senate interest. Without objection, the following senators will be excused from today's session: Senators Latz, Franzen, Newman, and Simonson. Without objection, they are excused. Further announcements of Senate interest. Senator Limmer.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I'd like to bring to your attention the passing of two former senators that were recently in the news. Earlier, just before our session began this year, Senator Jerome Gunderson from a little town called Mabel, Minnesota, served from 1977 to 1981 in this chamber. And recently he passed away just before our session began in January. Also, we were saddened to know of a more recent passing of Senator Tony Perpich from the Iron Range. He passed away on January 28th, this past Saturday, at the age of 84. He served from 1966 to 1976. And I think also it's deserving of the memory of James Metzen, who passed away, as we all know, just immediately after the session ended earlier last year. And so, Madam President, I would request a moment of silence for these former members of the Minnesota Senate.
Please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you, members. Further announcements of Senate interest. Seeing none, Senator Gazelka.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, before we adjourn, I want to say a couple of people asked me about the break that we'll have coming up. Senator Bach and I have been talking about that. We do have the dates, but we'll announce that on Monday. And with that, Madam President, I move that the Senate now adjourn until Monday, February 6th at 11 a.m.
Senator Gazelka has moved we adjourn until Monday, February 6th at 11 a.m. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. We are adjourned.